to the Supporters Club. We are back here. It's an international break, and this is the ideal time to get the guys together. Of course, we've got Chris Hudson in the building, the legend. Marty is here. We have got Ryan, Jack, and listen, we've got to put our hands together and make his first.
Thank you.
James is in the building, and we got Dylan. And we got Dylan here as well, right? Big up to you, right? But listen, I've got a question for you all. Yeah, because how it finished up, been on a great run, looking brilliant. Then the game against Sunderland came, 2-2, right? Drop points. The day after that, Liverpool versus, Liverpool went to the Etihad to take on Man City. Manchester City absolutely blew them away. They're now 4 points off Arsenal. After the international break, we go into a run of games right up until Christmas. No more international breaks. Got a question. Let's start with you, Chris. I'm going to ask all you lot as well. You can jump in. First of all, are Liverpool out of it? And are you scared of Man City?
Are Liverpool out of it? Well, as I did, but the last supporters club we did, I did question their credentials even then. I'm obviously going to say, I think they are.
You think they're out of it?
Yeah. Unless they do a bit of wiggling and dealing in January, but I'm not sure they got any more money to spend. They've wasted how much?
450 million.
And yeah, I am worried. Obviously, I'm worried about Man City. Or am I worried about Haaland? You know what I mean? Because Haaland is Man City, but he's something. He's just amazing, isn't he? He really is.
So you are a bit worried about City?
Yeah, of course I am, because I've got the last 3 years I've been told to be worried about them, because they've made our lives a misery. Let's face it. Yeah, I am worried. Of course I am, Rob.
Okay, what about you, Marty? You worried about City?
I wouldn't say I'm worried about City. I believe in Arsenal. I think the game at the weekend was a game between City and Liverpool. It was ruined by a referee. I think the penalty that was given that Haaland misses was soft. It changed the momentum of the game, and I think there was a perfectly good goal before half-time ruled out for an offside, which wasn't at all. In my eyes, I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, but apart from that, though, they were absolutely rampant. They run all over Liverpool.
Yeah, and that changed the momentum of the games. You know, our Liverpool.
No, but even before that disallowed goal, let's be real, right? That Liverpool goal came against a runner play. Yep. They're all over Liverpool,
yeah, man. Goes in football. And I think, look, Liverpool, are they out of it? I said it on a fan cam a little while ago, and everyone thought I was crazy for saying it. I think their recruitment's been absolutely terrible. They've got rid of a number of good players. I don't know what's going on with Isak. You see Kirkes can't handle it. Connor Bradley gets outplayed at times. Obviously, I've had injuries with Gravenberch, and I just don't think they're going to, I said it from the start. Am I worried about City? Look, City are a dangerous side. They can hurt you, and we all know that City can go on a run of games where they can win 10 in a row. They're capable of doing that. Their firepower in keeping Haaland fit is going to be key to them challenging and pushing Arsenal for the title. I think they're our only title challengers realistically, and the title race is between Arsenal and Man City. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Worried, Dylan?
About Liverpool? No.
Not worried about City?
Worried about Man City? That's a different question. Obviously, Man City are. I don't know. I feel like last season, obviously, they were going through a little bit of a transition, but now they sort of managed to piece it back together. They've, unlike Liverpool, they've really recruited well. The likes of Cherki, Reinders. I don't know about the fullback who barely plays, but yeah, they're looking back at their best, to be honest. And there's no stopping Erling Haaland at the moment. Realistically, with him, what can you really do? I'm watching defenders do everything they can to try and get the ball off him, and he's unstoppable, man. He's unstoppable. But look, we've got the lead right now, so it is ours to lose. And as long as we play our game, they'll drop points as well. We'll probably drop points, but we've got the advantage now. So as much as we can be scared of them, we've only got ourselves to worry about, because it's ours. It's in our hands.
About you, James?
I completely agree with that. Like, it's more from like previous seasons, anxieties of City chasing us and that kind of ominous feeling of them being at our backs that is creating the sort of worry. But I'm pretty confident in how we've been doing, and it was either going to be them or Liverpool. Like, we were terrified of Liverpool at the start of the season. They've obviously fallen off a cliff, And I think if we just kind of push on and keep doing what we're doing, it should be fine. The Haaland thing is a worrying sort of factor, but he's always been a freak, hasn't he? Like the entire time that he's been in the Premier League, just ridiculously consistent. And if he stays fit, they'll definitely be there or thereabouts. But I think we've got what it takes.
Liverpool out of it?
I wouldn't say out of it because we're still early in the season. We're November, but I think it's little horse maybe. They need to we need to lose 3 more games than they do just for them to catch up. But I mean, it's Liverpool. We've seen the squad. We've spoken about their recruitment, about how we might not think it's good enough. But look, if that team clicks, you're talking 15, 20 game winning runs potentially. It's just if it clicks, and it needs to happen now. It can't happen in January, February for them. But I think it'd be unwise to completely rule them out this early in the year, as poor as their start has been.
Haaland stays fit from now till the end of the season. Who wins the league, prediction-wise?
Well, you're giving you the tough question as well.
I said it actually earlier in the season. I think I got dragged for it as well, as I do. But yeah, Man City, I think will win the league if Haaland stays fit. I do think that, look, Gyökeres is that guy for me. Obviously, he's been lacking service, and even when we played to his strengths, we've not had a lot of games where we played to his strengths. You know, he's not hit the ground running, but his presence has helped us on the wings. We did buy him to score goals, but I'll take that. Like I said, Fernando Torres at Chelsea had that same issue. If we win, we win. I'm not really bothered if Gyökeres is helping us to get goals. That's still a success. I don't think Liverpool are out of it. Do I think they'll win the league? No. Do I think they'll finish in the top 4? Potentially. I do still think they could finish.
Then they're out of it. Then I'm talking about winning it.
No, I'm just saying I don't think they'll get past that. They're out of it for me. As in, just being logical about it. I don't think they'll win the league, but I wouldn't rule them out. Do you know when we went to Stamford Bridge last season, people were like, "Oh, Arsenal out of it." You know, we didn't start the season well last season. We were drawing, but we weren't out of it. So I'm looking at it like that. You know, just got to be fair. It's not just all about Arsenal with that. So yeah.
Chris, right? Arsenal games. Actually, for all of you guys, right? Arsenal games. You can all interject in that, right? Arsenal's games from now until Christmas, till the end of this year. We come back after an international break. Spurs at home, North London derby. Chelsea away. Brentford at home. Villa away. That won't be easy. They started playing really well now. Wolves at home. Everton away. First time at their new stadium. Brighton at home. And then we finish off the year. And this is a weird anomaly that we finish off the year playing Villa again, but this time at home, which is the game we lost last year, right? Drew, sorry. Correction, Dylan, you're right. Right? Man City's games between now and the end of the year as well. They come back after the break. Newcastle away. Then they're at home to Leeds. Away at Fulham. Sunderland at home. Away at Palace. Home to West Ham, and then they finish off the year away at Nottingham Forest. Who's got the harder fixtures?
We have. Easily.
A little bit of worry's got it.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers for ruining my day, Chris.
We have. But if you're going to win the league, you've got to beat them. If you're going to be champions, you've got to come through it. You know, it's a bad time, like, we grew up, Arsenal. We've had 3 years of coming second. And I think I saw Declan Rice say today, we have to win something. So, obviously, Man City got the easier fixtures, but we've got to come through it, Rob. And then, a little footnote to my Man City worry, I was looking at the fixtures. Who do we play in April the 18th? It's up there. City, 4 games to go at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying, Rob?
We'll have won it by then anyway, man. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be done. Hopefully we'll be there just like jumping around.
I hope you lot are right, man.
I think most people will admit City have got the easier fixtures.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say easier, but
well, the lighter fixture.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
I think we've got more away. Sorry, we've got more fixtures at home than they have. They've got to go away more. But you look at those fixtures there, and you probably expect them to win most of them, wouldn't you?
Who they got?
Newcastle? I think Newcastle in there.
Newcastle ain't been playing well. Newcastle, as tough as a place that is normally is, they've lost at home to us. They've lost at home to Liverpool.
Look, but you know, they also in that they've got Sunderland. We'll see how good Sunderland are. West Ham has started picking up
but
some
it's
points.
at home. They got them Sunderland.
Yeah, I know, but
They'll turn up for that.
We'll see what a good side they are.
Yeah.
See whether they can go there and turn it on and rough them up and be physical. You know, they are a different side. They're both interesting. I think we've got some great fixtures that I like the Chelsea fixture, the Tottenham fixture. It'll be interesting to go away to Everton. Don't know. Well, we'll see. I think Tottenham, we usually do all right in that fixture. I mean, the Chelsea away, I mean, last season that was a 2-2. That was a tougher fixture. But look, I don't doubt this Arsenal team. I think because we've got a draw against Sunderland recently, what I saw in that second half, we found different ways to play, and we were unlucky not to win that game. We had the chances to put that game to bed, and it was the first time we've conceded a goal in over a month, and we conceded 2, which was unfortunate. But they were fantastic. They were resolute. They were physical with us. They did everything that you need to do, and they were worthy of getting a point. It doesn't change my mind and my perception of this Arsenal team and where I believe they're going this season. Yeah, have we seen City do it? You've always got to keep an eye on them, but it definitely makes for an interesting title challenge.
Yeah. So when the squad is going to really come into play in this, isn't it? Because you look, it's a lot of games between now and Christmas. I've not mentioned the fact that we've got a Carabao Cup game, right? I've not mentioned the fact that we're going to have like 2 Champions League games in there. I mean, it will come back. We come back with Spurs, Bayern, Chelsea. We've got Bruges in there, and these games start to become important as well. These Champions League games, because come the end of January, we find out who's made that top 8 and stuff like that. So squad's going to be important now. It's important now that there's a lot of players coming back, isn't there?
Yeah, really, really important. I mean, that's what we spent the money on. There's people in the summer that might have questioned why didn't we go and spend 100+ million and go for an Isak or a Wirtz and spend that big lump sum of money on one player, but we chose to split it. We'd rather get Madueke and Gyökeres and Mosquera for that sort of similar sum of money, and that's where it hopefully pays dividends. I mean, we've spoken about a couple of years ago being scared of City. They caught us up, but we were like one Saliba injury away from a Rob Holding. We were an Odegaard injury away from a Fabio Vieira, and El Neni. We're not there anymore. So hopefully our decision to not go wild on one big player and sort of split that cost is gonna pay off for us. Now we've got that depth. I have faith in pretty much every position that we've got it covered.
Squad's important for this, isn't it? Because these are the times, isn't it? Like these amount of games, the ferocity of them, the difficulty of them, around that Christmas period, it's an easy time to drop points.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got players coming back at the perfect time for that. And then just circling back around to how difficult these fixtures are in this period of time, you've got to play them at some point. And I think the thing that I was more worried about, or from previous years, if you think about where we've actually lost out and missed out on previous title charges, it's been against teams where we shouldn't be dropping points or where you wouldn't be worried at all coming into it. We forget all the time that you can drop points throughout the season. There are certain points where, it's not the end of the world to get a draw. I don't think Sunderland was one of those results. And yeah, now we've got all these guys coming back, should be able to rotate nicely throughout the Champions League and get the business done, I think.
It was really interesting, didn't it, right? Because when we was doing the fan cams the other day, somebody said, it might not be a bad thing that we drop points at Sunderland, just to remind Arsenal that, and the fans, that you ain't going to have this gap all the way along. You're going to be up against it. You know what I mean? Do you think that's true, or?
Well, I'd never say dropping points is a good thing. I think, no, I'd have to disagree. I think obviously there's an element of that, but also you want to be as, momentum's so important. Like I said, it was so important to keep the results going. To be honest with you, I'm more annoyed at the fact we've conceded 2 goals in our hopes of beating that Chelsea record than we are dropping points. Because I still do think the Sunderland point isn't a bad point, but I'd never say dropping points is a good thing. I don't think there's any context where it's a good idea to not win a game. Like that doesn't make sense to me. But no, I still think the team are aware of what we're capable of. I just think it came at the end of a long week. You know, they went all the way to Burnley, back literally the next day, all the way out to Czech Republic, back up to Sunderland. It was a long week, and you know, it was one of those games, a little banana peel, and we didn't lose. So I'm not too overly annoyed about it. But like I said, you want to win. You want to win those games. I still came out of that stadium like that was an annoying game to, you know, drop points in. But yeah, I think we'll be fine.
You're
think
right
it's a wake
about
up-
the conceding thing is massive, isn't it? Because
I hated it.
That building momentum, that clean sheet thing felt like it was just being built on every week, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the same thing with the set pieces. Like you feel the energy just go up, and it just feels like something's going to happen.
And you're right. If like you're not going to go the entire league without conceding a goal, X, Y, Z, it's not going to happen. So it's good to realise that's the case. But also where we had the momentum, it made us so strong. We were so unbeatable at a point that there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. I didn't say, yeah.
It was a little bit of a wake-up call. I wouldn't say, look, again, there's context to it. Because I do think the football we're playing in the long term isn't sustainable. I genuinely feel that. Because, again, like it's almost one-dimensional, like with defence. Look, our defence is great. I could never knock it. It's the best defence probably in the world at the moment. But, you know, we have, you know, not every game recently, but we've had a problem scoring for a long time.
Ryan, we beat the best defensive team on the planet 4-0.
I know. Look, they opened up after we got the first goal. I'm not taking that away. But again, it's the same with Sunderland. Even though we've been struggling to score goals, it was an error they made before we actually scored. So I'm not taking that away.
In a lot of goals, errors.
Yeah.
Their 2 goals came from
Okay, I'm not
errors.
taking that away. I'm just making a point that, look, we've seen Mikel Arteta is a good example. We've seen very good free-flowing attacking football. And, you know, we've nearly won the league with that kind of football. We just didn't have the squad depth, and we didn't have, you know, Saliba got injured. Didn't have a striker in 23, 24.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
What's not sustainable about this?
I just feel like sometimes, look, we have to rely on a defence, but, you know, football is about scoring goals, and we've been struggling to do that.
Hold on. We've been without 3 strikers and 2 attacking wingers and Martin Odegaard. So I think what Arteta's done with what he's had in the past 6 weeks, that's how he's had to play the game, mate.
No, I'm not.
But what I'm saying, but when the cavalry come back, then,
Like the
I'm not taking that away. We only really have 1 striker, though.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away.
I think you'll see a more expressive Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Just quickly, Ryan, on that point, I think defence is probably one of the most important things in a championship winning side. If you look at all the sides, like historically, you know, all the top sides, they've all had rock solid defences to be built on. So I think that, for me, the sustainability of that is keeping, you know, we've got that world-class goalkeeper, world-class back 4, and we've got as well probably another back 4 that you could play, which suggests to me, and we're still getting the job done with the team we've got. I mean, look at the amount of players out. You look last season when Liverpool won it, the amount of points that they dropped. They dropped points in the last minute. I remember they did it to Everton when Tarkowski scored. And you're going to get that in games, unfortunately, and you just can't win. You're not going to win every single game. And I think the reaction to this weekend result, I think fair play to Sunderland. That is a completely different side to that championship side that come up through the playoffs. They bought 14 players. It's a completely different outfit, and fair play to them. It's a tough place to go. They were bang up for it. It wasn't even moving the advertising because that's not how we score through throw-ins. If anything, they were causing themselves because they score through a lot of throw-ins, flick-ons outside the edge of the area, and then back post, back of the net. So, you know, I think we, you know, it's in football. You're going to get that, unfortunately. We move on to the next game. We need to pick up as many points as we can.
How many teams, forget the Arsenal, how many other teams have survived Sunderland at the weekend?
Not many.
Not after the week we'd had.
Yeah, look.
I think if Liverpool, Liverpool, they look as weak as anything against Man City. Imagine if they turn up with that attitude at the Stadium of Light.
That's true.
They'd be buried.
I want to quickly touch on the idea of us being one-dimensional as well, because it doesn't make a great deal of sense to me. Right? Do we all think that if Jesus Havertz, Gyökeres, and obviously Marino, if they were all fit at once, do you think Gyökeres would start every single game?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
So that's why he started every single game. And Gyökeres obviously is quite a one-dimensional, not one-dimensional, but you know what I'm saying? He gives us one way of playing, and there isn't the option to bring on Havertz or Jesus, or start Havertz or Jesus, which is why we probably look quite one-dimensional in attack, whereas obviously the defence has been perfect almost. But that is the only reason we're looking so one-dimensional, so to say, at the moment, attacking-wise, is because we don't have that option of playing a Jesus who gives you the drop deep, the technical linking up play and giving it to Saka and Trossard or Martinelli. We haven't got that option at the moment. We've only had Gyökeres to choose from. That's why he's played almost like the whole game, every single game. I think once we've got Jesus back, Havertz back, and everyone we need with Madueke as well, we'll see a lot more different ways of winning rather than just lumping the ball
Do you know
out
what,
set piece.
Brilliant. That's a great point. And I want to ask you all this before we go, right? All those players that are coming back. So what we got? Madueke.
That's such a big one as well.
Martinelli.
3 strikers and Odegaard.
Well,
Okay.
Madueke is such a big one because I think that Sunderland game, the way the game switched when we went 2-1 up, if we could have taken off Saka at that point and slapped on Madueke for the counter attacks, we would have been 4.
Okay.
We would have won 4.
That's the question I'm going to ask all of you. Who's the most, out of all those players to come back, who's the singularly most important player out of them lot to come back?
What a great question.
Probably might be mad.
Important.
I've already got it.
Start with Jack.
You were going to say excited, but he's
Odegaard.
important.
Odegaard.
Yeah, I think we are a completely different team with and without the ball.
A lot of people were having a go at Odegaard,
Yeah,
like when he
but-
was playing, get him out. He's hardly going to play any games now that we've got Eze in. But you're saying he's the...
Yeah, he leads the press off the ball. He's the first one to sort of guide the team. When we're in possession, he gets us out of tight spaces. He's always available for a pass. He links everything. Like, you really see the difference when you take him out of the team. As great as Eze is and other players are, you lose so much in and out of possession when Odegaard's not there that I don't think anyone else can really do what he does. So if I can bring one back, it's probably
James?
I would absolutely say Odegaard as well, and that, especially that, I can't remember which game it was, but there was one where he was like sat a little bit deeper and just finding these passes that were breaking lines. When, like, I think Odegaard's
Newcastle, I think.
That's it, yeah. When we're trailing in games, he's so important for just being able to do that creative move or see a pass that nobody else can, that splits those deep blocks in two and creates chances for us. So he's definitely the most important. And then after that, I would probably say Madueke.
You're going Madueke, aren't you?
I don't know, because Madueke wouldn't start in our strongest team, maybe on the left, whereas I feel like Arteta would play Odegaard over Eze, whether I agree with that or not. But I don't know. I think maybe with him being the captain as well, it's important having him around the squad. I'll probably put Odegaard and Madueke at a similar level, but like I touched on before, I think having Jesus back and Havertz is going to be so important for us in how many goals we score, because obviously we can defend so well, but I half agree with Ryan to an extent where it's not sustainable, so to say, because all of these games that we're winning by 1 goal, maybe all it takes is one mad moment and that's not a win. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get to a point where we're scoring 4-5 a game like we were 2 seasons ago towards the end, if we're scoring 4-5 goals, 6 goals every game, then we're flying and we haven't got anything to worry about, no matter how good Man City look.
Same for you, most important.
If you took me back 2 seasons, I'd say Odegaard. I still disagree with him being our captain, including our vice captain Saka. That's another conversation. I think Declan Rice would be better, but in terms of him being influential on the pitch, finding passes, it would be Odegaard. Again, he's not had the brightest start to the season. I think last season as well, he wasn't his best. Again, it could come down to the way we've evolved and the way we've played. Eze hasn't hit the ground running. Again, that's down to our attack as well, the way we're playing. It's all connected, isn't it? It's hard to say. I think Dylan as well made a good point about Madueke, maybe on the left, because again with Trossard,
He's looked so good lately though.
Yeah. Trossard for me is great off the bench, but there's times when he starts and I don't know if he's a 90-minute player, if you like. And I would say
What's the other day?
I didn't start my.
You didn't what?
Yeah,
You think he was good the other day at Sunderland?
the rabbit out of the hat.
He's our man in the match.
I don't think he was that great against Sunderland.
He's one of them.
I remember you saying that to me after the game. You got man in the match.
Is this Trossard?
Yeah.
Trossard's got the Salah gene, hasn't he? The be awful all game, but pop up with that one crucial moment. That's the thing. Trossard did it at Fulham. Especially Fulham was a big example. He was terrible against Fulham.
But I don't think he did it at Sunderland though.
No, I agree. And I
Sunderland-
agree with that. I think
Sunderland,
Sunderland looks a
remember,
lot better. But he. What you notice a lot when you're at the game is that he does a lot of getting the ball, and like what our wingers do is, and Odegaard and Saka and Ben White used to have it especially. They do that little bit of link up. Odegaard sort of pushes over to Saka's side, and they move the ball about, and it starts to open things up, and then Saka runs, and then something happens. With Trossard, he kind of gets the ball out wide. Someone makes that movement over to him to receive the ball on the edge, to keep it ticking, move it around, and he's like holding it, and he's like doing this, and he's like waiting, and he's like looking at the defender, and this person's there like give me the ball, and
Yeah, but in
he's
that
slowing it
Sunderland
down.
game, there was a couple of times he
it-
played
it's
some
sl- yeah.
great. Remember that ball he played in
On the
for
ball.
Zubimendi?
On the ball, he wasn't giving it away much, and he was making some good decisions. But I think just how much he was slowing us down, he's been doing over a more consistent basis for quite a long time. But then again, like I said, he popped up with an insane goal and was all-rounded pretty good on the ball. But I don't want to
Goal
ignore
against
the
Sunderland,
fact.
assist
Goal
against
Burnley.
assist against Burnley,
Another assist against Prague as
assist
well.
against Prague, right? And goal, like you said, against Fulham. I personally think he's been our best forward player
No, Robbie, no, but
since the last
what you're not
international break.
Totally agree.
Would you agree
I'd
with
agree.
that?
I'd agree.
Okay, Robbie,
I'd agree.
let me just
Output-wise.
give you this, yeah? You can have a very good moments, but doesn't mean you've had an overall good game. Like we could say, look,
Fulham won.
I'll give you,
I'm with you on the Fulham one.
but let me land on this.
Right.
Let me land on this. People say, oh, Bukayo Saka's not world class because he hasn't won a trophy. That's wrong. You don't say things like that. Yes, trophies are important, but it doesn't take away the quality of a player. So I'm just trying to say, in terms of context, when it comes to that, Rooney scored they beat Man City in 20. That's the first thing that came to my head when I was arguing with you. When he scored that bicycle kick against Man City in 2011, he even gave the ball away before that. One of the worst games I've ever seen Rooney play. He was in decline after 2010. I'm just trying to make a point. He still came up at moments, and that's what it is with Trossard. Like the goal against Sunderland, look, fair enough, it should have been defended better by them, but that goal was insane. Like Trossard is so
on the watch along, people were digging him out, even like you know what you're saying about him slowing down but that's what I'm saying. Is that people are always like having a go at him, and then
Unfairly sometimes.
Yeah, and then he stepped around a guy and banged it in the top corner. It's like-
Because to me, in that game, even before he scored that goal, I thought he was playing well. Like there was that pass he played to
one of his better
Zubimendi. I was like, oh, what
Definitely.
a pass.
No, I think it's fair criticism, but
Yeah.
I would say in the last 3 or 4 games, I think Trossard has gone up a level.
Yeah.
And I really believe. And
I think that's fair.
The thing is, so if you're saying, oh, it's just moments, but I'll tell you something. If it gets down to the nitty gritty in March and April, he'll come up with a moment. And there was a player who played years ago, Lundberg, same sort of player.
Yeah.
He was a
That's
moments
very true.
player.
Very
You'd
true.
rather have someone that shows up in moments, and rather than somebody who looks amazing and has no
runs
output.
around like
No, that's what I was about to say. That I hate saying it. Final ball of anyway.
Anyway, back
Same
to
question with you.
Odegaard,
I don't know if you're Odegaard as well.
but in brackets, Havertz.
Yeah.
And the reason I say in brackets Havertz because I want to rotate Gyökeres. I don't want to flog him to death like we have done. That's why he's picked up his injury. So yeah, Odegaard mainly because I think the Newcastle when he came on St James's this season, you saw Odegaard. He won us that game.
That's class.
And Eddie Howe said, didn't he, that they couldn't cope with Odegaard. But in brackets Havertz.
Okay.
Jesus and Havertz. And the reason,
Jesus.
I'll tell you why. A fully fit Jesus, not an injury prone. I'll tell you why. He is a devastating player that opens up a completely different attacking dimension to Arsenal Football Club, especially with Saka on the right-hand side. And someone like Havertz is absolutely perfect for the game that we played on Saturday night against Sunderland. Why? He's physical, he's durable, he's the sort of player that gets up with elbows, gets up to every header, to every challenge. He's all about the pitch. And, you know, with Jesus, we've seen it before. He is that sort of player that can unlock defences, can score 2-3 goals in a game. And when you're playing with sort of Gyökeres and Saka, Saka gets doubled up, and Jesus is the sort of player to get doubled up. And then Gyökeres pulls players out of position to allow players like Jesus to get in and get in the middle. And he's the player that I'd like to see. With Jesus, you can play him across the front three. He's dynamic, and I'd love to see Saka, Jesus, and Gyökeres playing to see how that dynamic works. Jesus coming in from the left-hand side, Saka from the right, and Gyökeres through the middle. Just because I think those three pull defences completely apart and allow players like Zubimendi to free flow and play, and allow players like Declan Rice to drive And I think also that potentially that front three will help Eze. Eze likes to lay balls through and put nice neat balls through. I just think that combination would work really well, but obviously he needs to be fit. So they're the players, and obviously the last point on it, Gyökeres needs competition. Every top level athlete needs competition. You see how Reyes sort of upped his game, albeit he hasn't had much to do, but he's organising since Kepa's been here, a better goalkeeper challenging for his position as number one. And you see it with levels with Gabriel and Saliba having Mosquera, Hincapié there. So I believe that having Havertz fit raises Gyökeres' bar and levels. I think we'll see the best out of him.
Okay, nobody mentioned Martinelli. He's actually started the season well as well.
Is he injured?
And it's,
Yeah,
he's been injured as well. Yeah, he's been injured. I think he would definitely have come on in that last game. You know what I mean? As Mikel Arteta, remember he said, the finisher. And he does come into that bracket of that type of player, can come on, defenses are a bit tired and that, and he can come on and really make an impact. But we'd love to hear from you guys out there. Are you scared of Man City? Are Liverpool out of it, or, don't write Liverpool off yet? And also, looking at those fixtures from now until the end of the year, taking it bit by bit here, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. City's fixtures, Arsenal's fixtures. Where do you think we'll end up by the end of this year? How do you think we'll do? Are you worried, or do you just look at it and say, we're playing well at the moment, little bit of a slip up, we're going to be all right? We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Thanks to you guys. We're going to be back very soon on the next one.